Hello and welcome to Card Designs by Terry. We are doing another card featuring the Honeybee Bundle, which is on page 30 of the January to June holiday, or mini catalog I should say. And so this is the stamp set and the coordinating dies. And with this card we are going to be featuring quite a few of the stamp sets and no dies. No, yes, there will be some dies. Sorry. Yeah, stamp sets and dies for this card. And it's a bit of a different color scheme, so let's get started. So this is the first, or our last card that we'll be doing, and it's kind of a monochromatic, I don't know, something a little different that I wanted to do. So set that aside. In your kit, of course, we have our envelope, which we will set aside. We've got a crumb cake card base, which we will fold in half and burnish, and we'll set that aside. Then we have a piece of early espresso, which we are going to emboss with the 3D embossing folder. So we're going to spritz it with some water first, just to break up the fibers. And I'm using the basket weave 3D embossing folder, which sadly is retiring. It just came out and it's already retiring. It makes me very sad. So I'll just quickly emboss this. And this one doesn't use the blue 3D platform. You can just use your regular plate for this one. So then it looks like this cool basket weave embossing. So I'll just set that aside for the time being. And you've got your Whisper White piece, which, or not Whisper White, Very Vanilla, which will be for your inside. And we will stamp on this piece of Very Vanilla. But first, we're going to do something a little different. We've got a piece of vellum and our piece of Very Vanilla. We're going to line them up together, and we are going to tear a little bit. So take about 3/4 of an inch off. And that's garbage. And then we are going to stamp on the vanilla. And the reason that we want to tear it first is so that when we're doing our stamping, if we have any stamping over here, it will look nicer versus just look like it's just been torn. So we're using the smaller little bee, and we're going to make a background on this vanilla piece using Early Espresso ink. So we'll just stamp this little bee kind of willy-nilly all over. Let's see, like that. And it doesn't actually all get seen, of course, but it's hard to know what part will be seen and what won't, so therefore I'm going to stamp the whole thing. Okay, so we've got it like that, and we're going to put a little bit of Tombow on the scrap piece of vellum, and you can use your finger or a sponge just to get some thin layer of the Tombow on so it doesn't show through, because as you know, if you just put a big blob of Tombow on, it will show through and make your card look terrible. So we'll just go like that, and we will layer this on top. There we go. And we'll set that aside. Now I've given you 2 of the Very Vanilla circles that I've cut out for you, and we're going to stamp on one. And I've given you 2 for in case the stamping doesn't work. So we're first going to stamp the sentiment, wishing you sunshine and happiness, using the Early Espresso. So we'll stamp that right up near the top. And then we are going to stamp this floral image, again using the Early Espresso, and we'll stamp that towards the bottom. Set that aside to dry. And now you've got a little square of crumb cake, and I've stamped the larger bee, again using the Early Espresso ink. And I didn't get my die out for that. So we've got this larger bee that we're going to cut out that bee with. And same thing with the larger bee versus the smaller bee. You kind of want to line up the bottom of the wings and the bottom of his little butt, and then the rest of it will all fall into place. So I've already got him cut out here. So we can go ahead and assemble our card. So we have our basket weave piece that we are going to stick down directly onto our crumb cake card base. Just let that set up. Because it's so deeply embossed, it needs to just have a little bit more love to stick down. Okay, set that aside. Now this piece, I've got some linen thread that I have wrapped around 3 times and then tied a bow. We'll see how that works. Oh, not too terrible. You come out of there. Okay, there we go. And that piece I will stick down. I need a little bit more Tombow on there. That's okay. This piece I will stick down with dimensionals. Or did I? Yes, I did. I think I need to add a little bit more Tombow to that piece. Let's put these guys down. I think this might have been a little bit too wet. I was rushing it a little bit, so. Just add a little bit more Tombow. And we'll stick this piece down. Come on, get off of there. So this piece is going to get centered on your Early Espresso piece. And then this vanilla circle will get glued onto the Early Espresso circle. And that will go on with dimensionals as well. Just want to make sure that that's straight and centered. And then the bee will go on with a couple of dimensionals. There we go. Oops. And he will go right in the center of the circle. So there we go. And there's the finished card. So, thank you for watching.